TheOgnis. That's okay, I'll have you back.
And my mic was muted for the cast. So hi people, she was talking to a ghost, but the ghost is now here. Spawning in our top left-hand corner, we have our blue Terran, TheOgnis.
There you go. And in the bottom left, as the red Terran, complexity is QXC. So TVT on Whirlwind, and QXC has, he had a very strong performance in PVT, or TVP rather, against Deer, who was knocked down. That's why he's in the losers bracket to begin with. And this is the losers bracket, so whoever loses here is out of the competition forever.
Is this round 6 or 7? Gonna go ahead and
always with the hard questions, man. Yes, no, I found it. It's round 6.
Awesome, that's what I put. Good guess. We do have both the supply depots going down at the ramp. Another TVT, a vertical spawn point, so I expect drops to be one hell of a problem during this match.
You have next match in on, so.
I do? Oh, that's right. That was when we were doing, whatchamacallit.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Everybody now has a perfect professional MLG screen. Pretty much no deviation from either build. Typical barracks at the ramp, so nothing really fancy. We'll see if either of them start to build gas.
Yeah, we'll be expecting at least a 13 gas, but it looks like they might be saving up just go for a Rock Expand, which would be odd to see from both players. Like, I'd expect it from one player, especially on Whirlwind, but from both, that'd be kind of funny.
But definitely with what they're stacking up at this point, I kind of expect it. QXC actually has less minerals. I'm not sure why he's seems a little off. They're building the same thing, but their mineral amounts are off, so it's a little strange. Oh, he has one SCV off early, so that's actually, it shows you just how much discrepancy happens when you just pull one SCV off your line to scout.
15 gas go down for both players, so not going to be a Reaper opening like that, or a fast reactor like we saw in a previous TVT. I don't think in TVT we've seen 15 gas, which is like an odd specific thing, but it's the opener that I use, so I kind of notice it.
Definitely. So it looks like QXC getting the lucky scout off TheOgnis going completely the wrong direction. He won't be able to see where this scout came from, unfortunately, so he won't know which direction it's coming from. The Marine is going to get it, though, and it is completely blocked up. He's going to see absolutely nothing. He knows that the Marine's out. He knows that there's no sort of expansion this early, so he doesn't have to worry too much about a CC being down.
Yeah, he knows that it was a 14 CC. Unfortunately, you're right, did not get up to see at least what's behind the barracks, potentially, which is always sometimes you might be able to see. Gonna be a reactor on the barracks for TheOgnis. QXC has yet to decide what he wants. Looks like it's gonna be a factory going down, and then probably a reactor getting those Hellions real fast. TheOgnis could just be reacting out some Marines and going up to a factory of his own.
Definitely, and again with the wrong scout, still not knowing which direction though. He definitely knows it's in the bottom left corner. He doesn't know anything about it. The CC is going down, so he has the 3 Marines at the entrance. We'll see where he goes from here. He does end up putting a reactor on that. It's still only with 1 gas, and a CC also going up for TheOgnis. So the build's almost completely mirrored with just some minor differences. So the factory is down for both players again at almost exactly the same time.
Yeah, the only difference really is that TheOgnis will have a few more Marines out of that reactor, so even if he wants to build them, there he goes, he is building them. So that's really it. So very, very similar. SCV finally does scout the correct position, although by process elimination he figured it out. Would have loved to see and confirmed the CC on the low ground, but unfortunately could not.
Yeah, he wasn't even close to actually detecting it at all. Again, with the production tab just completely mirrored, each building 2 of everything, or not 2 of everything, 2 Marines and 1 of everything else. So we'll see when we actually start seeing some deviation from these builds. We got 4 Marines at the ramp for both players. Factories are finishing up for both, so we'll see what they end up building. We do see a starport out of TheOgnis, though, so both, again, just 1-1-1 with the expansion.
Yeah, both are going to go for a Hellion drops at least, probably throw in some Marines in there if they're feeling like that's what they want to do. Orbital commands finish around the same exact time. These Hellions, if they send them across the map, they're just going to meet halfway and leave, probably.
This is just an amazing, like, we have 24 worker supply, 10 army supply. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's a mirror matchup and it is just mirroring itself perfectly.
So we have the Hellions both headed out at simultaneous times. I hope they're on, one of them might be on the move command, which would be hilarious, but we'll see. No, the pathing, oh my goodness, completely missing each other. So this is really strange watching these 2 Hellions just, there it goes, see if there's any micro. The Hellions actually being pulled back instead of going in, which is kind of strange. There was no defense at TheOgnis' base. QXC could have had the rain for a while.
He's going to go catch those two Hellions, going to try and get some free Hellions, and he will be able to take them out. So already a nice little takeoff from QXC. You're right, he could have gone into the natural and killed maybe a few SCVs, decided to go for the Hellions instead, and now there is only 2 Hellions at the front for the TheOgnis. The rest of his units are preparing for a drop.
So yeah, four of the Hellions up against 2. 2 more just came out though, so they have the Health Command and Marines definitely coming out. Vikings, I'm not sure why there's a Viking support out right now. It might be worried about a drop, but the Viking seems a strange choice right now.
Yeah, it was just for that drop. He was definitely preparing for some type of Hellbat drop, and here comes the medevac now. Of course, it's not going to happen. Viking is going to be used for extra GPS. Those Vikings are actually very useful in these early game situations, you know, Hellions and Marines on the low ground just to add a little bit of DPS.
Definitely. It looks like, I don't know if the medevac's a no. I thought he was going to go in for a drop. He drops the Hellion, though he picks up the other Marine, so it looks like he is going to boost right into the main. There is no anti-air. An armory is about to be built up, so it looks like we might go for just Hellbat drop after Hellbat drop. It would be interesting if it goes that way. We're finally seeing some deviation. We have siege tanks coming out of QXC, while it looks like TheOgnis is going for the Hellbats.
Yeah, that drop from QXC was shut down by that one lone Viking. Trying to do 2 things at once really attacks TheOgnis' multitasking skills, but both are pretty much handling it very good. Not too big a supply difference. SCV count's still exactly the same. The siege tank from QXC, instead of going, you know, generally as this engagement does finish up, Hellbat versus Hellbat. You really need to go Hellbats or have very good defense otherwise back at home. And QXC, instead of going Hellbats himself, is just going to have very good defense at home and go through bio. You know, that tank's definitely necessary in helping out against the Hellbat drops.
Definitely, and we do have a Viking kind of flying around. I'm not sure what he's actually going over here for. Kind of a strange path there. We do have the Hellions coming up at the entrance. The siege tank is not sieged, though it doesn't need to be. Doing enough damage against these Hellions. 2 Vikings are flying in, trying to see if they're getting some scouting information or trying to take out any of the other Vikings. Something I see rarely, harassing with the Vikings.
Both are harassing each other's mineral line. TheOgnis currently getting... No, it's QXC getting 7 kills. TheOgnis not getting any SCV at this point yet, so definitely looking much better for QXC. And QXC just took out a refinery. That's a bigger deal than it looks like when TheOgnis is going to go for mech. QXC powering up behind it. The siege tank working wonders against these Hellions that are trying to get in, trying to get some type of kills. They're lining up just a little bit. Some of them might go down. They're pretty low on health.
What is he
3,
doing?
5. And that's going to be it. 5, well, that tank actually didn't kill it. There we go. 5 kills versus 7 kills. QXC kind of getting the little bit better trade there.
Definitely. Very interesting, just both attacking each other. We have another drop in the natural, but it looks like it was quickly cleaned up. Only 2 Marines left in this medevac. Only at half health. There is a barracks floating over this. I don't know if he meant to switch it with the reactor or what's going on there. He is dropping in the Hellions. They're going to clean that up really easily once they get back up. It doesn't look like his attention there. Oh, he picks it up just in time. 2 more Hellions coming out. So he's definitely focusing on Hellions. He's got 6 compared to QXC actually has none, but he has 3 siege tanks.
Yeah, the siege tank is going to be very, very helpful. Medevac will finally go down thanks to this Viking. Of course, he's going bio, so that barracks is not going to go back down. It's going to get used to scout, potentially be an add-on builder, but it might all just go scout. And this is a very nice unit to scout with when you're in vertical positions. You're going to see most of the drops just with that barracks alone. QXC, though, pushing forward with a lot of tanks.
Definitely, and we have the 3rd CC now dropped down. There is also a 3rd CC for TheOgnis. So again, very similar builds, but it has deviated a little bit more considering one going for tanks. We do have the Hellbat drop incoming, the infamous Hellbat drop. I wish we had the ballad of music that always plays during Vietnam movies as you land your troops in the midst of battle.
Yeah, these tanks by QXC are kind of hidden a little bit. That's kind of funky, but they are going to siege up TheOgnis' main. He's going to be slightly contained, bringing out the SCVs, wants to nip this in the bud because it's too scary. Hellions coming from the back as well. Takes out 1 tank, might take out 2 with the Hellions. Does take out 2, 1 more remains, and he might still hold this position.
A ton of workers going down at the natural for QXC, up to 13 workers killed. The Hellbat's still going. The workers are not running away.
What? Anticlimactic.
I don't know.
There we go.
He's just running around, not actually doing anything. It looks like he's going to continue a Viking landing and see what he can do. This Viking just taking on a Marauder at once. He's now completely tuned up. Very strange pathing, and instead of attacking, he could have had a lot more kills there.
Yeah, I guess he focus fired on 1 while he went to do something else, and because of that, the AI really messed up, but does end up with 17 SCV kills overall, so getting back in the favor just a little bit. It's currently 65 to 61 in TheOgnis' favor. His mech composition is looking a lot better. No tanks quite out yet, but a lot of Hellbats, and of course he'll continue the Hellbat drops with 2 more coming in on the left side.
Yeah, and it looks like QXC is going to follow up with his own Hellbats at this point. Or not, because the factory does not have a reactor. It would take forever to have Hellbats, but there is an armory up. It looks like this barracks is being forward placed just to do scouting to know when the attacks are coming, and a single Hellion is just holding the Selnaga Tower, which almost feels useless considering this is a vertical matchup. 2 more medevacs with Hellbats are trying to find an angle. This Viking is just relentlessly tracking them.
Yeah, Combat Shields and Stim has finished for QXC, so he's going to continue pushing out. This is kind of risky. You usually don't see them pushing out with tanks. You usually see them trying to outmaneuver, out-expand, out-upgrade the mech player. But QXC is being a little more aggressive than usual. It's very style. You know, it's a style. And the supply depot from QXC did spot this drop, funnily enough. It's kind of a funny place supply depot, but it does find it.
I don't know. Is a really strange spot. I don't know if he's going to cancel it or just send another SCV down there to build it, though. He is pushing out. He has 2 tanks and a lot of Marauders in this composition, so we definitely going to be able to soak up some damage. We have another CC coming down for TheOgnis to expand on the back of this. He is getting vehicle weapons level 2, so he's getting his own tanks out now and is still focusing.
Ooh. Oh, the SCVs of the natural QXC are so low on health, but TheOgnis is busy elsewhere. Could get so many SCVs because was paying attention, but QXC is barging up the 3rd. He is taking down some more SCVs for himself. The tanks are not even siege. He just pushed right up with Marauder and Bio and was probably going to force the 3rd.
The CC was not even canceled, so TheOgnis losing 300 minerals on there. A lot considering he isn't really floating a lot right now. QXC just destroying everything. Currently has a 50 supply lead at this point. TheOgnis is going to have to pull a miracle to come back in this game.
Well, he does have Hellbats, so that's definitely a way to do it. He's loading up some right now. He's going to go chase that drop in the main. Looks like it's going to be cleaned up. The real problem right now is that TheOgnis is very low on tank count, so he doesn't really have that defensive position that he would want. He's depending on mostly Hellbats, which are very, very slow and are going to be outmaneuvered. And QXC has a great economy. He's up by 60 supply, and he just pushed forward.
Yeah, there's this drop still going in the main, and the main force is starting to approach on the door. The CC having to lift off, meaning he is only bound to 2 base. His main is almost completely mined out, while QXC rests on a very comfortable 3 base with another CC in production at the 3rd.
Yeah, QXC looking very, very good. Gonna go ahead and stop this command center from ever landing. Unfortunately, he has been put down back to 2 bases. No 4th CC or anything like that in his man, just constant production out of his factories. QXC is going up with the bear account very much so. 2-2 is almost finished. Well, 2 weapons is almost finished, that is. It's currently 2-1 against 2, so definitely in favor of QXC, as it should be for the bio player. And TheOgnis is finally starting to stabilize with tank count.
Yeah, and if QXC doesn't do a push like he is now, he's going to allow TheOgnis to get his army count back up. He can't allow that when he's in such a lead. He's definitely taking it as much as he can, getting all the turrets out of the way so he can continue dropping. 3 siege tanks, though, behind all the factories make it almost impossible to get to. The Hellbats coming up behind, giving a lot of damage out. The medevac's picking up what's left. This one medevac really low in health. We just need a couple of Marines to pick that off. Siege tanks were unsieged. I'm not sure why he did that. The siege would have done a lot more damage. However, this attack is still going. This Marauder would not die. Nothing got out of both medevacs. 10 health and 20 health, barely making out of there.
QXC is playing really great right now. That micro on that drop was really, really great. It takes down more than it probably should have, including the add-ons on TheOgnis's factories, including Reactor, which takes so long to rebuild. TheOgnis finally starting to get a little more stabilized, getting a 3rd up on the other position. QXC taking a slightly hidden 3rd, or 4th rather, 5th even. And that's a good idea because mech is not going to be running around too much, and it's probably going to be scouted for a very long time.
There's a small stim forward. It looks like he's trying to get these Hellbats from a distance. Siege tanks are sieged up over behind the rocks. He needs to destroy these rocks before he can even attempt to move up that ramp, though he does load them up. All of those are really low health, but there's no anti-air here, so they're able to float and drop right on top of these tanks. Another attack coming from the side that Siege tanks was distracted. SCVs are being pulled into this, or no, they're running straight into the Siege tanks. I'm not sure what the SCVs are actually doing here.
Thought he might need them, decided he did not, gonna drop right on top of those tanks. So QXC, not the best drop on top of the tanks, but doesn't really matter. He's still up by 60 supply. Does get cleaned up on the right side. QXC is up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 command centers, while TheOgnis is only getting up to 3. A fourth is finished, 5th and 6th on the way. Of course, as a mech player, you are going to start banking those minerals so you can afford a lot of additional command centers.
Definitely, and both of the extra bases are actually being upgraded to planetary, so it'll be extremely difficult. There are 2 sensor towers, something that you don't see very often in any Terra game. I don't know why they're not built more often, but nonetheless, there are 2 up, so he knows constantly where QXC is. He knows where drops are going to be. It looks like he was trying. Was that a trick? He boosted in and then realized none of his units were loaded. I'm not sure, but the turrets are not up. He's dropping again on top of them. Oh, some of the the medevacs going down instead, losing several units inside. The army, though, is still pretty sizable. Tanks just coming out. They're not sieged up. He's going straight for the turret so he can keep the dropping. SCV over here doing nothing. Just walking through this base. The SimCity's not that great because these Hellbats are having to do so much walk around to actually get in here.
Yeah, and he's forgotten about him a little bit right here. The bio finally is going to get cleaned up. This 4th command center from TheOgnis is under assault. Needs to go ahead and lift that from the tanks, or just drop some Hellbats on the tanks at least. Another hidden command center going down for TheOgnis as well. Back at the QXC's 3rd, there was a Hellbat drop. Don't know how much damage it did. Currently, guys, it's 56 workers killed compared to 39 in QXC's favor, and these guys are still going. TheOgnis does not have that big of an army anymore, though, and that's really the big problem.
Definitely, and we do have a CCC, the CC just kind of floating out here, though. It is going to go down. I'm not really sure what the point of that was. Oh, the murder, the massacre of these SCVs just running in. It's up to 39 to 81 worker kills at this point. This is, I think, a route at any point, or TheOgnis is going to GG out of this at any moment.
Yeah, he's still trying to hold on, but his production is just not high enough. He really can't get up to that very scary army that Mech needs to get. They're not that scary with 4 tanks and 4 Hellbats. They're scary with 15 tanks and 25 Hellbats. So QXC is just relentless right now. He has no fear whatsoever. His economy is fantastic, and he doesn't care if he's going to lose less cost efficiently. He just needs to continue doing what he is.
Yeah, QXC has tripled the income. There's the GG. QXC taking the first match against TheOgnis 1-0.
Yeah, that was really nicely played by QXC. I think QXC is riding a, just that victory. He didn't actually win against the Kespa Pro Deer, but after that first game, I think he's feeling very good about himself, and I think it kind of showed. He was relentless, he was on top of everything, and he played a great game.
Yeah, just like I'm actually going to send a little message to QXC, kind of a little joke. Since I know that his opponent's not watching, he did a mass amount of Reapers in a replay that I watched, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Sorry, what was that?
Reaper Mutas. He had a replay that I watched Husky actually cast, and he built so many Reapers. He was building 17 at a time. And literally just all over the map, you saw these giant groups of Reapers just taking out everything. And every time they were in engagement, just like a Muta, they'd run away and heal all their health back. No medevacs needed. So suddenly you had this bio army that was maneuverable, was extremely quick, and regenerated all its health. And it was just like, and he said to his opponent, he said, "Did you know Terrans have Mutas?" And it dawned on me, they pretty much are, just the fact that they can't fly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big difference. So if we're ready, then let's get into the next game.